The Fox 61 News at 10 starts now.
The cleanup continues as folks dig out from under a foot or more of snow in most of the state. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. And let's get right over to Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank with a first check of the forecast. What we can expect tonight. It looks like the snow is finally stopped, right?
Finally, we had a little grand finale. The cherry on top pushed through this evening. In some areas saw an additional 1 or 2 inches of snow. And yeah, that brought the grand total to anywhere between a foot to a foot and a half for most of the state, and some a little bit higher than that, certainly in those drifts. But here's that storm continuing to move away, and temperatures are cold. That's the other issue. We're in the teens to right around 20 degrees, and we have a weather impact alert right through the end of this week and even into this upcoming weekend, because every single morning we're looking at wind chills that will be below 0, and we're looking at single-digit temperatures. So every day you're wanting to kind of limit the time spent outside, at least in the morning when it's the coldest, right? Easier said than done if you work outside, but also watching people, pipes, pets. We know the drill by this point. Here's a look at low temperatures tonight. Single digits inland, teens for the Connecticut shoreline. Roads are slippery with that additional bit of snow that we saw out there this evening, and already school delays are starting to come in. Here's a look at the wind chill that will be down near or below 0 as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. So this is what you're bundling up for. But high temperatures will rebound into the 20s. After some morning sunshine, we'll see increasing clouds. There's a slight chance for a snow shower or flurry, but no accumulation with that as we head through the afternoon. And then the cold just keeps on coming. We're going to talk about that, plus the latest on the potential for a storm around this weekend coming up.
All right, thank you, Rachel. And the state's cold weather protocol has been extended. It's in effect through February 5th. That's next Thursday. So if you need transportation to a shelter or additional resources and information, you can contact 211 for help. Today, dozens of flights were canceled or delayed in and out of Bradley International Airport, and flights across the whole U.S. were impacted because of the weekend storm.
Yeah, Fox 61's Tim Latow talked to travelers who are both in luck and out of luck.
There have been hours-long delays and last-minute cancellations, and for so many travelers, Monday was an incredibly long day, and Tuesday is expected to be another one.
It is what it is, you know. Can't predict, you know, you can't beat Mother Nature.
Planes were grounded and rerouted across the country thanks to a winter storm that spanned hundreds of miles. Allison Clark and her fiancé are at Bradley International Airport to fly back home to Fayetteville, North Carolina after a weekend of wedding planning. But delay after delay came, and when we spoke with them, they were 4 hours behind schedule.
I'm not nervous. It's more like the not knowing, but it's nice the hotel's right here, so if we need a place to stay, we can stay. But we think we'll get out tonight.
The odds weren't in their favor, as 65% of arrivals and departures from Bradley were canceled Monday. John Tabor from Woodbury lost all hope of making it to Cleveland for a business trip. His flight was canceled while he was on the road to the airport.
I literally was on the way to the airport and I got my notification, so I knew about 15 minutes ago.
Tabor hopes his flight Tuesday morning will take off. And the business meetings in Boise, Idaho will have to wait for Mark Huschel as well, with another ill-timed notification of another canceled flight.
I saw a lot of flights were canceled, but my flight was still on. And it was a half hour late, so I thought I was in luck, so I left. I got ready, left a little early. The roads were a little sloppy, not terrible. Got here and found out the flight was canceled.
After a weekend celebrating their granddaughter's quinceañera, Susan Edwards still thinks she has a shot to get home to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, if airline luck is on her side.
We're not sure yet. We've been delayed. Supposedly combining 2 planes going to Myrtle Beach to leave around 5. Yeah. And hopefully we'll get home.
If you're traveling Tuesday or any other day this week, you're asked to check the status of your flight with your airline before you head to the airport. At Bradley International Airport, Tim Latow, Fox 61.
Wow. Thank you, Tim. Well, folks in New Haven are still digging out after the storm. Snow's piled up high, and city crews have been working nonstop today to clear roads and parking areas. The Connecticut Department of Transportation says they had to hire more than 200 contractors. They were out over the weekend, too, to help make conditions safer. We spoke with a bartender at the Hotel Marcel in New Haven who was called in to work on his day off. He says he got there early to beat the worst of the storm.
Having a plow, it was a little tough because everything was kind of built up right on that snowbank, but it was really only the one little line because they did get most of the stuff out of the way. So not too much, but a lot of snow for what we're used to.
And even with the snow done falling, the bitter cold is still causing some problems out there. City officials are telling people to use caution outside and make sure that their vehicles and themselves are prepared for dangerous temperatures if they're stuck.
Well, snow clearing efforts are underway in Hartford. Mayor Arunan Arulampalam says schools will be closed tomorrow to keep buses and other school vehicles off the roads so the crews can continue to clear them. He also says the police department reported a record number of people who followed the parking bans, which have since been lifted. The mayor is giving credit to crews who've been working around the clock to make sure the roads are safe.
We had two very close NFC and AFC championship games last night, but the real action was here on the streets in the city of Hartford, where our DPW trucks have been doing an incredible job clearing that snow. 17 inches, a really significant snowstorm, the biggest storm we've seen in over a decade, and folks have been out for now over 24 hours clearing these roads.
Despite the roads clearing up, the mayor is still letting drivers know they should use caution when they head out onto the streets. He's anticipating crews will be treating roads and hauling off mounds of snow over the next several days. Well, the winter storm forced many local businesses to close, but one pizza shop in Hartford remained open.
Fox 61's Valerie Moravi caught up with the owners today and gives us insight on what it was like yesterday.
Well, despite all the piles of snow and all the obstacles because of their severe weather, the owner of Pietro's Pizza tells me they were committed to serve a warm meal to their customers who rely on the restaurant.
It was one order after another. While many local stores and restaurants were forced to close due to the weather Sunday, Pietro's Pizza was on the roll. And Monday, loyal customers like Robert Emiliano says this winter storm only meant one thing: takeout.
They're fully committed with people. They don't care about the storm. They're here to help people out, to provide a good service, to provide good food, to be open to the people that are in need like me that don't want to cook.
Christopher Williams is a regular, and he says he knows what it means to support small local businesses.
With Petro's being open and the small businesses around here, it did a lot because we don't actually have a lot in Hartford, to be honest. So a lot of people need and wants come from small businesses around here. And I usually try to eat Petro's at least once a week.
Owner of Pietro's Pizza, Mariah Adesoy, says even though they faced many challenges due to the severe weather, he says he couldn't turn his back on the people who relied on the service.
There's a lot of people outside for workers, snow plowing people. I feel like I have to open, not about the money, not about the make to the business, but I feel like we have to open to the help to commerce. This is honest to God, I can tell you that.
And with that, business was booming.
I was busy. It's like normal, little more than normal.
Pietro's Pizza not only served first responders and the regulars during the harsh weather conditions. Adesoy says it was also crucial to make sure his employees had the hours they needed.
They want to do work, they need the money, especially this time. There's a little economical issues. Yeah.
Well, Pietro's Pizza did have to close a little early Sunday. Their shop is back to its regular hours from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Reporting in Hartford, Valerie Moravi, Fox 61.
Valerie, thanks. To stay up to date on everything you need to know as the snow cleanup continues, just download the Fox 61 Plus on your smart TV and keep our weather impact radar with you 24/7. Well, breaking news tonight out of East Hampton. Crews are on the scene of a fire on Browning Road. The call came in just before 7:30. Multiple units were dispatched and police had to redirect traffic because of the large emergency response. No word yet on injuries or the cause of the fire. We will continue to follow this and bring you updates as they become available.
Police in East Lyme are investigating a serious crash involving a plow truck. This happened around 5:30 tonight at the Rocky Neck Connector and West Main Street, where a vehicle coming off the connector crashed with that plow. East Lyme fire crews worked to free a driver who was pinned inside the vehicle. That driver was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. The driver of the plow truck has been taken to the hospital to get checked out as well. Police are asking any witnesses who may have seen this to contact East Lyme police and they're reminding drivers to use extra caution during these winter weather conditions.
And an update now on a traffic alert in Enfield. I-91 South has reopened after a serious multi-car crash near exit 46. State police say there were reports of serious injuries and troopers remained on scene for the investigation and cleanup. Drivers are still urged to use caution in the area, especially with snowy and icy road conditions. And we have new details tonight out of Maine after a deadly private jet crash during yesterday's snowstorm. Investigators say the jet went down during takeoff at Bangor International Airport last night, killing 6 people on board. The crash happened as snow began falling and visibility dropped. Aviation experts note this model has a history of icing problems, which can be especially dangerous during winter takeoffs. The FAA and NTSB are investigating what happened.
Wethersfield police say they're investigating a suspicious death from last Friday night. Officers say they found a 21-year-old Bristol man unresponsive inside a parked car on the Berlin Turnpike. Hector Ortiz Rivera was pronounced dead at the scene. The chief medical examiner is looking into how he died, though. If anyone can help with that investigation with information, reach out to police.
And police have now identified the fisherman they found dead in the Stonington Harbor yesterday morning. Investigators say the death of 54-year-old Thomas Williams doesn't appear to be suspicious. Searchers say they found him near the boat he was last known to be on. Williams' death is under investigation now.
2 people were displaced out of their New London home this morning. Firefighters say a deteriorated fireplace liner caused that fire. They say it started around 9 on the first floor of a William Street home. We're told smoke and fire was coming from a confined wall space. Firefighters noted that today's weather has slowed them down getting to their calls, but they were able to put this fire out quickly. They say there was moderate damage.